Hi friends, my name is Sanjay Singh and I'm your sales coach. Have you ever wondered what are the right kind of traits that you should look for when you are selecting a salesperson? Often when I am part of such interviews and when I am sitting in small and medium enterprises, I often find that they look for traits which actually do not make a great salesperson. Just because a person is talking good English, does it give him any right to become a good salesperson? No. Just because the guy looks very polished, does it give him any right to become a great salesperson? Probably no. If the person is talking a lot, even more than what is required to talk, will he make a great salesperson? I don't think so. But I often find that people look for such traits when they are interviewing a person for a sales post. Let's discuss what should you look for in a salesperson when interviewing him or her, and how do you find that out? So the first thing that I want to look for in a salesperson, does he ask questions or does he answer questions? It's very simple, friends. Sales intelligence is all about your probing skills, and sales intelligence is all about your tenacity, your persuasiveness, and your aggressiveness to ask questions to the customer. So next time in an interview you ask a question to a salesperson, and if he does not ask you relevant questions before responding to your question, I don't think he has the probing skill in him. For example, if I ask you that what are you looking for in this job? Now one salesman would say that I'm looking for a great career in this job and I hope to become the managing director of this company in the next 20 years. Another person who is my salesperson would say, well sir, I would be looking for a lot of things in this job provided I know what exactly this job offers. So could you please tell me what is the job profile that you're offering? You see, this is my salesperson because he does not give answer straight away. He has a probing skill. He asks questions to understand the scenario and then gives his question. Point number 2, when you're trying to look for a salesperson, please understand that sales is a profession which always requires that you should be able to climb a wall. So sales is a profession which always tells a person to stand in front of the wall and climb it, because he's going to encounter targets, he's going to encounter impossible targets, and he's expected to achieve them. So I want to look for the right attitude in a salesperson. Every other skill I can teach a salesperson, but I cannot teach attitude to a salesperson. So the attitude of winning, the attitude of going where no one has gone before, the attitude of not fearing the unknown and moving ahead, the attitude of thinking that if I have been asked to move in this direction, I better try and then comment on it. This is what I call the fear of unknown or the victory over unknown. And it's very important for a salesman not to be suffering from the fear of unknown. So you can devise small exercises to give to your salesperson who is sitting in front of you for an interview and ask him to respond. You can tell him that if I ask you to jump out of this window, what will you do? And if there is a salesperson who tells you that, oh, are you mad? Why do you want me to jump out of this window? And there's a second salesperson who says, okay, you want me to jump out of this window. Have you taken care of my insurance? Have you taken care of the medical problems in case I encounter one? And if you smilingly say, okay, yes, go ahead. And if he gets up and starts walking towards the window, you know for sure that this is the guy. This is the person who has the attitude to move forward even in the sphere of unknown. The third the third trait that I look for in a salesperson is, does he have the power of comprehension? In the sense that if I give him a paragraph with multiple if then else kind of statements, And it could be something like that, that if I ask you to go and meet the Prime Minister of India, and if you happen to meet my father on the gates of the Prime Minister of India, and you fear my father, and you start running away, and then you see your father on the second gate, and you find the Prime Minister of India sitting on the other side welcoming you, would you start walking on your doubles and jump toward the Prime Minister, or will you first start placating my father on gate number 1 and your father on gate number 2? Do you see what I have done? I have created a complicated scenario for the person, and I want to see whether the person is able to comprehend all the scenarios and then come out with the right kind of solution. So that's known as the power of comprehension. And the fourth thing that I would look for in a salesman is his adaptation skills. How is he able to adapt to changes? Because sales is a profession where there is a lot of changes. Your products are going to change, your pricing are going to change, your circulars are going to change, your customer profile is going to change, and things change so fast that if you're not able to adapt to those changes, you will not make it great in sales. So I look for people who are very adaptable, and there are exercises to see whether the person is adaptable or not. And the fifth thing that I would like to look for in a salesperson is the storytelling skills. Because a good salesman is someone who can explain his product in the form of a story. And for this, I normally give a good picture and ask the salesperson in an interview to describe that picture in 1 minute. And you can see his innovation, his on-the-spot thinking, his extempore links, and how he creates a nice story. Is he able to create a plot out of it? Is he able to conclude? Does he have a good introduction to it? And that gives you his storytelling quotient. So all in all, these five traits, if you find in a salesperson, you are looking at a thoroughbred salesperson. And you may not get a thoroughbred salesperson everywhere, but if you get even 3 out of these 5 traits, it's good for you. The only thing that you should never compromise while selecting a salesperson is, don't take a person who doesn't have the attitude. Because everything else can be taught. Attitude is something I cannot teach. Next time you sit for a sales interview, all my best. Select the right person, create a winning sales team, and make a lot of money, name and fame for yourself. I will be happy for you. Bye-bye.